Hey y'all, this is Leo and I'm back again, man. So today, let me introduce you a very, very important project of mine. It's called the Beatbox Analyzer. So as you can see on the screen, everything is going crazy right now. But before we actually get to talk about the Beatbox Analyzer, let me show you the inspiration. If you get to see Wings video, all the new techniques using my album Dopamine tutorial, then you will get to see that something on the right hand corner, right upper corner, you can get to see some lines are going there, and also some of the spectrums are going there, and also sound waves are going there. Okay, and he also demonstrates the videos and demonstrate how the sound actually looks like on the spectrum with the waveform. So let's get to see some of the clips, okay? And then we will dive into the Beatbox Analyzer real quick. All right, so this is how he actually demonstrates the sounds.
이렇게 써요. 근데 이게 뭐가 제 가치관과 다르냐?
So you can get to see the entire thing, and you can get to see the entire audios, and also the waveforms are going there, and also waveform should be in here, and also the spectrum, and also the energy, and also the frequencies going there. So here comes the question: if we, as a normal people who want to actually try something out there, who would actually want to practice our beatboxing with the spectrum, what can we actually do? Well, for sure, you can have some plugins. You can download some apps to do that, or you can use the digital audio workstation, so-called the DAW, or so-called the DAW, with the plugin to see your sounds. But however, that is a very important problem. Like, beatbox can be very impromptu, right? We can do something like whenever we want to do. And I have been studying sounds for quite some time, and I study language, phonetics back in my uni and back in my graduate school. So it's like, I think that there should be an easier way to approach these. That's the reason why we have the Beatbox Analyzer. And that is something that is like going crazily on the screen, just like this. So before I actually show you all the function, let me just like walk you through a little bit. And you can get to see that right now I'm talking, and all the sounds are captured, and all the all the spectrums are captured. And yeah, so if I keep being silent, no sounds will be captured. Okay, and if I want to try some beatboxing with the microphone, all the sounds can be captured like that. And with Beatbox Analyzer, there are 4 more things that you can actually play with. So let me switch a little bit, and let me go to the left hand corner, and let me show you the entire Beatbox Analyzer, and I hope you can play along down in the link in the description. All right, so 1, 2. All right, so this is the entire how Beatbox Analyzer looks like, and if you refresh the page, you will get to see something like this. All right, so this is a simple walkthrough, but if you go through the video, then basically you don't need to read this. But if you want to, you can feel free to read this. And if you choose a language, like we support Mandarin and we support English, and most of function and basically everything is like designed with English. Though I vibe code with Mandarin, but yeah, you're free to use the English, because I basically learn everything with English. All right, so once you choose a language, you can close this page, and you will have something like this. All right, so you can so first thing first, you can get to have the first stop is in here, start input, and whenever we click onto that, it will start the input. Okay, it will start the input. But here comes the problem. Like all the device, and the reason why I start this app is because I want to let the spectrum to be seen, and I want everything to be, I want beatboxing to be analyzable. Let me put it this way, okay? And I want it to be easy to use. So on different device, there will be different types of capturing system, and also all the different kinds of like frequencies will be captured. So to actually make it into a better capturing shall I call it phenomenon, or basically if you want to capture it well, then you can have here this is what we call the noise gate. All right, so if you have the noise gate, then you can use the auto profile and record noise 1 2, and let me silence for 5 seconds, and you can get to see the countdown is in here. Then the noise are actually taken out, right? It is not actually being that severe and being that much of the sound to be captured. And so this is about the noise gate. Like if you want to start using this, then I would highly suggest you to use the noise gate to actually take out some of the background noise, and then you can analyze your beatbox even better. So for this one, let me go through the 1 2 3, and then we'll go to the 0. All right, so for the first thing is so-called the signal history, which means the waveform that we have. If we keep on silent, well, still some of the background noise will be there, but if we keep on silence, the sounds are actually like lower and having like less sounds. But if we get to speak like you can get to see the shape of your sounds. Okay, well, the shape of the volume, the shape of your sound is not specific, but the shape of your volume. And I decided to have the entire outlook to be 3 band. And what is 3 bands? Like you can get to see that this sound wave are basically composed or consist 3 kinds of color: blue, green, and should I call it pink? Okay, so yeah, blue, green, and pink. And you can also customize your color. And what does the color mean? So if we have a normal voice, it will become and we can actually have a stop inputs, and then you can get to see and the very exterior part is called is actually the low ends, the low frequencies, and the central part are the high frequencies, which means the entire sounds, like how much does the sound take, okay, how much does the generalized frequency take. So you can get to see that the high frequencies of the is actually not that much, and the mid frequencies you can get to see it's taken are more of the space, and the low frequencies are actually in the wider range. And if we have the so-called consonant, then we can have the so the so I can produce like okay, so you can get to see the sounds actually take up more of the higher frequencies, the range, and the sounds take on less of the higher frequencies, although it's still the higher frequencies, but the mids coming in more. So you can use this to figure out which sound take up more of the high frequencies, mid frequencies, or the low frequencies, and to try with your beatboxing. For example, if you are doing versus, then you can get to see and So you can get to see different kinds of like kick with actually, oh my god, well, where was I? Let me do that again. I'm sorry. So here you can adjust the time. Okay, here you can adjust the time. So so here I will coincidentally unintentionally use this kind of thing. So it's like here. Oh, and we can adjust the speed. Like here are like 3 seconds in one view. So it's like. All right, so you can get to see how much low frequencies take up the entire sounds and how much of the highs take up the sounds. So this is a great part for you to get to see the entire signal, and you can even choose different colors to like it to make it shine differently. Like for example, blah blah blah, and also blah blah blah, and you can also custom your color. Like for example, I want everything to be white, and white and even whiter, and you can also do that. But I prefer using this is much easier, and sometimes probably you will need to do the input and also the audio profile again and again, right? So for example, read. Yes. Okay, so the audio profile just like came back. All right, so this is how we can actually utilize the entire signal history. And bear with me, like there can be some bug because this is just a 1.0. So the following things, I hope that you can have some comments, also have some suggestions in the comment section to let me know where to make everything better. Okay, how to make everything better. All right. So let me refresh a little bit because I'm afraid that there will be some of the bugs whenever I'm demonstrating. And also, if you does not like the entire auto profile, then you can use the manual profile. That's basically the same thing. But you can adjust the dBs and you can adjust the signals in the more manual and in more controls. All right. So here is actually about the live readouts. Like for example, you can get to see the notes that you produce. For example, like you can get to see if I have a it's in C3, which means it's on the C notes, and it's on the third interval of the piano roll, should I call it? Okay, and okay, you can detect the notes, and also this is what we call the spectral fullness. And what is this? You can get to see that it's actually calling about like full, moderate, and also if I have like less voice, it will be called limited. And what is this? If you get to watch the entire video of Wing talking about how to make beatboxing more like music, then basically, oh my god, did I show anything in here? I believe I didn't. All right. So if you want to show more, if you want to make beatboxing more like music, like by what Wing have already mentioned, is that you need to have the sounds that take up more of the spectrum. So if you are doing kick, you can see the spectrums. The energy most likely to lies in here. But if you do the you can see the entire spectrum is actually popping. So it will be viewed as like full more. So it's more like a one-shot dictate, because I haven't think of like how can I actually have the entire dictation for the entire Bbox repertoire. So yeah, here will actually will also show that how much lows you take on, and how much mids you take, and how much highs you take. Okay, and if the bands are active more, then you will get the full of the spectrum spectacle view, all right, spectrum view. So if like you only have like some of the sounds, like if you have like very small noise, like small volume, it can be viewed as moderate. And if you like just like have like very little sounds out there, it will be limited. If you only take out like lows, or like if you only take out highs, it will be viewed as limited. I would think of the wordings better, because I also, you know, cross over with my GPTs and talking about everything that's out there. So for sure, in the future version, we will get to see more. But this can be something that you can look into. Okay, can be something that you can look into. If you take out more of the spectrum, then basically the sounds can be viewed as a better sounds, and you can also use it to understand your beatboxing. For example, and if you only do something like, you can see the, you know, high ends are not popping. Then basically you will only get the moderate. But if you have like more, then you will have the full. Okay. And here is actually one thing that I tried, but this is a very, very beta thing. And how long have I smoked? All right. So it's a very, very beta thing. If you get to see Jin with his like very splendid and marvelous reels, then you can get to see that, yeah, he try, you know, he do the lips oscillation in one note and use the voice in another note. This is also something that I will want to try, but this is very beta. And how beta it is? Well, basically, if you look up into a lot of the so-called papers that is published in the journals, and also in the, you know, Soundwave, and also all kinds of like conference papers, or like journal papers, basically the sample of overtone are very, very limited, which means how I actually get to understand the overtone and also detected notes is very, very hard. So for example, I can do the overtone singing, and you can get to see two kinds of notes out there. And for sure, Jin is a musical genius. He knows what kinds of notes he is producing. Then he does not need this kind of he does not need the notation to actually show that, okay, what note are you right now, what note are you producing right now, because he is a musical genius. Okay, so he knows how to produce those kind of notes. So if we are doing the overtone singing, I believe overtone singing is like easier and higher, and also more reliable, I would say. So if I do something like you can see different notes are popping out there, which is the secondary notes. But how can we actually define the secondary notes? It's actually very hard. So I would need more sample, or basically I would need more papers of the world, of the greatest scientists, or like phoneticians, or the ones who study sound, to support this entire thing. So you can get to see the percentage out there, which means how confident it is of capturing the second notes. And this is a experimental analysis. I hope you guys can have some fun time with this. But let me go back to the, you know, sounds real quick. Okay, so this is a more like a sound approach. All right, so here is about the frequency spectrum. Frequency spectrum is a very, very important thing for you to get to see. All right, so I get to understand the idea because this idea is actually very commonly used. Like if you study sounds, then you will use open source or software. It's called Prot. And if you use like other software, they will also show you different kinds of like the noise and also the EQs that you use. And well, I shouldn't call EQs, like different frequencies that you take up with your sounds. And so here the white bar are the formants, formants. Okay, formants. So if I have the sounds, okay, let me have one sound and start inputs and stop inputs, and I can talk about it like more easily. Oh, all right, stop. All right, so here are the formats, and in the very beginning bar is called the fundamental frequencies, so called the F0, and formants means the where the energies lies in. So if more energies lies in certain frequencies whenever you are producing the sounds, and then the white bar will show. That's what we call the format. And as you can see, human vocal does have a lot of frequencies rising. Like for example, you can get to see 1, 2, 3, and if we count more, then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then those are the and other than the F0, the others are called the overtones, and we can get to see how crazy other sounds just like shine in here. And also the white bar are the formants, which means you can get to see the should I view it as a F1, F2, F3, and F4? At least in prot, this is how it is read. Okay, so you can get to understand the F1, the F2. F1 frequency, should I call it frequency 1? But most of the time we'll call it F1 and F2. We will not call it like frequency 1 and frequency 2. Because whenever we are producing a note, or like whenever we are producing a sound, there are a lot of like frequencies to be captured and to be produced with our human body. And here is actually how you can understand more of the frequencies, and also which fundamental frequencies are you lying in. So if we have like try to understand different kinds of notes, then then we can get to see we can get to see how the notes actually shift. We can see the dynamics, and also how we play around with the vocals as well. If you want to try some overtone singing, like I find this to be very interesting. So because for the overtone singing, basically you are playing with the F1, F2, F3 to reach different kinds of notes. So this spectrum can help you understand what kinds of frequencies are you producing, and also where are the formats to help you understand more for your sounds, and also for the audio engineering. If you are trying to practice your beatboxing, you can get to see that how much of the frequencies does the sounds take up. Okay, so you can see the spectrum to practice your beatboxing. If I'm doing, it will be more under 600 hertz, and if I do, it will be around 5Ks. Okay, so those are the sounds. And here, if we use the normal spectrum, then which will be like probably from 0 to above 20K, then basically those are the messages that we does not need to know whenever we are producing beatboxing. So here is the audio spectrum from 20 to 20K hertz. All right, so here is where you need to know about your vocal, where you need to know about, engineering your vocals. What's more, I've been talking a lot, is here. It's about the routine analysis. Okay, so this is only on device, and by the way, all of this does not require AI to produce your sounds. Okay, this is very, very impromptu, very, very on your device. So you don't need any AI, and all of your data, all of your information will not be saved to train to train this page. Okay, you don't need to worry about that. Okay, so but in the future, if there are some volunteers who will want to submit their data, submit their audio file for us to actually train the data, basically not us but me. If you're thinking about my codex to be a us, then basically we can have some discussion. Okay, but right now, let's just play around, and if you want to try, we can get to try. All right, so here is the routine analysis. And what is routine analysis? Like when we are doing beatbox battles, we would need to think about some of the routines that we are trying, and also some of the routines that we are doing for our beatbox track. So to the most minimum one, most likely we will have like 30 seconds. And 30 seconds, and you can also record your beatboxing for 30 seconds. And if you are doing like and if you are kids trying to do this, if you are going to the B City Japan, let me put it this way, probably you will need a 45 second routine analysis. And if you are in smaller competition, or probably in the female category of B City Japan, then you will need a 60 seconds and 90 seconds for a full routine. Okay, so this is the reason why I decided I designed this sounds altogether. Okay, I designed this times altogether. And so let me try, and you don't need to actually have the entire like 30 seconds. You can stop anywhere you want. Like for example, if I can have my mic, I would say it would be better if I want to capture my sounds. So for example, if I click on start analysis, it will become and if I hit the cancel, then basically all the reports will be in here. Again, this does not require AI. So this is a pre-recorded and also pre-designed feedback for you. So you can get to see how much of the lows, how much of the mids, how much of the highs did you take up in your entire routine. And as well, you can get to see some of the distribution ideas. Like if I only focus onto the if I have like low, mid, and high, and he will say that this routine has like sustained activity across low, mid, and high frequencies, giving a relatively broad spectral coverage. If you want to refine it further, you can explore dynamic contrast, space, and sound density between bands rather than necessarily adding more sounds. So it's like they can give you some of the ideas. And if you only do something like if you only covers about the mids and highs, then it will talks about like the mids and high frequency occurring more active, while low ends are activity appears relatively less often. If you want to add more weight or lower foundation, you could express bass oriented special sounds like lip bass and low vocal texture or deep kick. And also, these are optional sound design direction. A beatbox sound can contain several frequency components, and an intentional frequency contrast can be kept at it as it is. Like if you design this to only be in the mids and the highs, then basically you can keep that. This is just like some of the ideas that you can get to know. And also, routine analysis, you can get to read this, and also the ideas about how it is captured, and overall it's only on device, so you don't need to worry about the data to be saved for AI training. Okay, you don't need to worry about that. All right, and last but not least, here are the credits. I get to talk about Wayne's video, Jin Jinozaki's ideas, and at the very beginning, I think that this is not only about how I think of sound design to be, how I think of Bbox to be. All right, though most of the spectrum are trained with my Bbox data, but some ideas are actually there by other Bboxers. So I also give credits like for Wing inspire a spectrum analysis concept, noticing weaker or missing frequency range and regions, and consider how low, mids, and highs can each support more complete musical arrangements. And also Jin Shinozaki marked as an inspiration. His notes by note analysis of lip distillation and different vocal tones inspired the polyphonic singing, multi-pitched direction, not available in the note detect poly modes. All right, so I give the credits, and this is the time that I actually designed the entire, I would say, the time that I kept track with the update. And you can also see a lot of like community contributor, because in the Boots and Cats community, they already talks about Beatbox Analyzer for quite some time, for some times. Okay, they tried that for me and give me a lot of feedbacks. I appreciate you guys the most, and also I appreciate the inspirations for me to do the entire thing. Okay, so you can I want to give a big shout out to Chan, Lee, me, John, Maurice, John, and also Kairu Wei for giving me like wonderful and amazing feedbacks. And if you in the future you want to give me the feedbacks, and I really use your feedbacks into Beatbox Analyzer, then your name, for sure I won't ask for your full name, your YouTube name or like your community name would be right there. Okay, so thank you very much. And so like they suggest me about the Anna, and he used the analyzer for trying his overtones, and also me John talking about the wordings, and also Morris give us some of the feedbacks like in here, like is about talking about what kinds of sounds that you can use, and Kairu talks about the recording and real-time recording. So and here comes to the final part of the Beatbox Analyzer. You can get to see that. All right, so this is a metronome. If you want to try your metronome, for sure you can get to try like 120, okay, 120 BPM, and you can start your metronome. Metronome is very important for beatboxing. And you can even try different beats. 1, 2, 3. So yeah, I'm so bad at the four. I'm so bad at the threes. And you can try different kinds of beats and even different kinds of like divisions. Like for example here, like 5/4, 6/4. Okay, and we can even try the 6/7. All right, so and also audio recording. This is something that Kyle Liu and also Chan get to support it and get to suggest me. Like you can record your beatboxing routine and it will be all on your device. So once again, no worries for submitting your audio data like to me, like because I didn't actually design any back end. So I won't receive anything. Okay, I won't receive anything unless in the future I get to I get to say that, yeah, you can support the Beatbox Analyzer with your audio data. Then basically you can help it refine even better. So here we can have the record. All right. So if we hit the stop record, then basically your sound will be saved on your device and like this. And you can see the real-time analysis with the signal history spectrum, and you can also download your recording if you want to, and you can even choose the audio from your data. Like we will basically record a lot of beatboxing with our iPhone or with our like noise memo. Not noise vehicle, voice memo, noise memo, voice memo. So you can choose the audio from that and to put it into the analyzer and to see how the spectrum actually move. This is something that I find to be very satisfying. And if you want to know more about how we can design everything, how we can try everything, then you can get to see in here. And also, not just like about the people who mention something that is in here, also the ideas. The ideas are also, provided in here. I believe it's in credits and methods. If you click onto this, then basically you can get to see all the credits and all the methods and also all the source that me and my AI friend get to talk about different kinds of like waveforms and 3 bands and also different kinds of like ideas, and you can get to see how the analysis, and you can get to have the direct link to them. All right, so I love giving credits, as you know me. All right, so this is basically it for the Beatbox Analyzer. And one more thing, building a website like this, well, you can use this website with all kinds of platforms. If you have an iPad, if you have your smartphone, if you have your web page, you can use that, and on different types of like, you can access to Beatbox Analyzer with the link. Okay, with the link, then you can basically get to see everything. All right, and if you want to support the entire work, you can click on buy me a coffee or click on PayPal to support me, because building a page like this actually take lots of time and lots of ideas. So I spend a lot of time, and I can't be more appreciative than ever. Like the Bbox community helped me refine this page even more. So I hope you guys get to play around. And if you find this to be successful, if you find this to be interesting, then you can get to support me. Well, you can also support this video, like send it to your friends, and also if you can drop some supers, I will be very happy. So the Beatbox Analyzer is something that I'm very, very proud of. I hope you guys can get to try it out. If you are not a beatboxer, you can also get to see how the sounds looks like on the Beatbox Analyzer. So yeah, that's basically it. This is a new project, so I spent a lot of time talking about this. I hope you guys enjoy this one. And drop some feedbacks. Okay, drop some feedbacks. And if I actually have some updates because of your feedback, then your name will for sure be given. Okay, your credits will be given. So thank you very much. This is a very important video of me. And we'll get to see each other in the next one. Well, here. You know what? Let's go! Let's go!